Hi, ours people. Boys will probably leave now. They got a little extra pile over there, so they finish up their first good stuff. So I was going to mess around with them and let you guys watch them in the background and cover my last video I did. Moki was about to come out. Where'd Moki go? Moki Moke! He was following me. He got distracted by something. I'll put out some bird food, but maybe he's waiting for the birds to come in so he can practice his hunting skills. So let's I'll move this in case you guys, some guys like seeing cattle. They don't see cattle too much. Maybe I can get them in the background too. I don't really need to be in the background too much. If I can remember to spin this around. So I just did a video on, hi buddy boy, hi buddy boy, hi Dusty. Who was that guy on Snoopy's Pigpen? I don't know if they still have that cartoon, Pigpen, where he used to hang around and there'd be bugs flying around his head and shit. That's Buddy. Buddy's Pigpen. He's taking his little dirt baths. He's a good boy. Oh, Mr. T ain't a Pigpen. Maybe a little bit. Mr. T's a Pigpen. Alright, so let's talk about that other video I did. Hi, Mr. T. That your eye. I know. Mr. T hates when I grab his ear. He's hated it for 10 years. Watch me, he's gonna leave now. He's gonna go to the other pile. It's like, damn stinking stupid humans. Messing up my program. Little shit. Now I'm gonna go bug him over there. Alright, let's... He's like, damn it. Can't a damn horse eat in peace? I gotta get the camera kind of close so the speaker will pick up. I'm gonna get to the point here, people, in a minute. I'm welcome to grab Mr. T's tail, see if he kicks me. Don't kick me, Mr. T! Don't kick me! Don't do me like you do, buddy. Now normally I'll leave them alone, so this, some people will say it's harassing or being mean, but every time I walk by a horse, my horses, not strange horses, I always grab their tail and get them to ignore. Horses don't like things in their blind. Mr. T can't see me right now. This makes him nervous. So if I stop moving and just stand here, I bet you he'll pick his head up and kind of look, see what I'm doing. Watch this. He's got me in his left eye over here. Now, because he's old, I've seen people stand back here and not touch a horse for a while. The horse forget they're back here and then reach up and touch them, and the horse goes, oh shit, instinctively and kicks. See, I put too much pressure on him, and I wasn't putting pressure on him. He just doesn't like that. He's like, why are you making me, why do I want to feel uncomfortable with you in my blind spot? So he moves. That's called pressure and release. I was putting pressure that he didn't like. Even though I wasn't trying, he felt my pressure. It was making him nervous. He couldn't see me. I stopped touching him. I touched him. He's like, you know what? I'm trying to concentrate on eating. I'm going to move over here so we don't have any mishaps. So he moved over there to where I'm in front. So he released his pressure. And when I talk about pressure and release on horses, I say you don't want a horse to be able to release their own pressure, because then they learn not necessarily what you want them to learn, but they learn what they think they're learning by releasing pressure. If Mr. T was always allowed to release his own pressure, it would become what's called, people call disrespectful, dangerous, he doesn't listen, he needs respect, whatever. I mean, basically he learns that I don't have to accept anything that makes me uncomfortable because I'll just leave. And if I don't leave, I'll pin my ears, swish my tail, and kick at you, and then you'll leave. But when you start letting horses release their own pressure all the time consistently, they learn bad lessons. Now, because he was able to release that pressure and leave, doesn't mean I can't walk back up to him and put pressure.
Oh my goodness! Over here, Dave! He don't like pressure! He don't like pressure, I know!
So he'll tolerate all this. He does not like me messing with his ears because I had to put medicine in his ears when they were hurting and rubbing. So he's just really become a little anti-ear on me. So what do? I make him let me touch his ears, then I release the pressure, and he learns that if I just take it, he'll leave me alone. I'll get release if I just take it. And then I would slowly work longer. But that's not the purpose of this video. And I don't know if Buddy's still in there. I can't see the screen. I see my shadow moving around. Let me move it there a little bit. I think they're in there. So, now of course Buddy, he doesn't care. Buddy, I've been hanging around Buddy since he was a baby, and he wasn't messed around with and ruined. So he doesn't care what I do. He's learned, because I've messed with him since day one, that humans can kind of do what they want. That doesn't mean he'll let a stranger do it. A stranger come up and do something, he may go, I don't know if you're higher than me. And he may try to push back, and if that stranger yields to his ear pins or gets scared or is jumpy, he'll be like, oh, this guy don't know what he's doing. So I can bully him, but he ain't gonna do that on me.
Hey, buddy! Hey, buddy boy!
Okay, so let's talk about the dog video. Because I'm gonna try to be nicer. My New Year thing is to be nice and not call anybody an idiot or dumbass, or it ain't gonna work. I'll try it. I'll try it just for this one video. So I had people come in here. First of all, you know, when you do a video, you've always got, no matter what topic you can think of, you're gonna have people on the other side of it. No matter what it is. I mean, the color of my shirt, whether my button should be buttoned or unbuttoned, whether my coffee should be with cream. I mean, it doesn't matter what the topic, you're always going to have people on the other end. And somehow, the internet has made it to where people seek out conflict and they want to find what they disagree with in order to push their opinion, to be able to attack anonymously and be big, which they could never do without the internet. I got a flashing light here. What the hell's flashing over here? Crazy camera, always trying to mess with me. So there's always that little bit of the trolls. I kind of relate it to reading a book. Can you imagine how many people would write books if people had immediate access to every author while they were reading, and they could send them a comment, a suggestion, something they did wrong, a editing issue, he skipped a chapter, he should have put this in, he should have took that out, she should have done that, she shouldn't have done that. Just imagine how many people would write books if that happened. Let me tell you, not very freaking many. So on the internet, when you do videos, and I just shut down the Facebook page on my Think Like a Cop, and I changed my channel name because it almost seemed like it attracted two types of people, because it said Think Like a Cop. It started out as a gun channel. It was talking about guns, and YouTube was so anti-gun attacked me, I changed it and went, well, maybe if I go law enforcement, they'll back off. But it didn't take long for them to figure out I was talking about guns. But Think Like a Cop was attracting all this kind of, the cops who love cops and think they do nothing wrong. So then when I said something bad against a cop, you're a cop hater, you're a piece of shit. So they hated me. And then it attracted people, who the hell wants to think like a cop? You cops are assholes. And they already hated me. And there goes Moki. Moki Moke, what are you doing? Hey, come here, boy. Don't you go over to the neighbor and start no trouble with that cat. He's heading to the neighbor. I'm going to beat his butt. So, the title was, and I picked Think Like Cop because it used to be all about guns, and then it attracted too much attention. And now Think Like Cop attracted all this negative, you know, either the cop haters or the cop lovers. And then when you get those people, you've got the people that want to fight with those people, and it was just so toxic. So I just changed the name to Good Luck America, because the channel's about, I cover the news and guns and police and out of control government, and it's all about pretty much what I think is leading to the next revolution and the fail of this country. And a lot of it has to do with liberal policies and liberal run whatever. But so let me try to keep politics out of this, because I know somebody right now just got triggered. They're typing right now. Not all liberal, and you can't, and you men ruin and it's all the men's fault. And I get to choose what bathroom to use, and you people want to force me. Shut up, you freaking idiot. There it goes. There it goes. My New Year's revolution blown. January 2nd. So, Buddy's like, dude, all right. The whole point of this lead up is my other video about the dog. And anytime I talk about pulling out my BB gun, it triggers people. Some people don't get it. I mean, a BB gun to kids that grew up with it. I mean, I had a BB gun probably when I was 10. I mean, maybe before that. Hell, I had a real gun by the time I was 14 or 15. So, I mean, you got to figure BB guns are really kind of nothing. Where you going, Buddy? So see, Buddy, he got the good stuff here, and he wanted to go back over there. And Mr. T's like, well, I'm leaving too, because I don't want to listen to this knucklehead. So, not to let my horses relieve their own pressure. Rick, why are you harassing the horse? Shut up, you big crybabies. Freaking idiots.
Hi, Buddy. Dad, did you run out of hay?
Buddy's my little coffee holder.
Is Buddy my little coffee holder? Rick, you shouldn't do that. If that failed, it could have burnt him, and that's horse abuse.
See, I'm trying to give you guys an idea of what it's like to run a channel when you have freaking idiots just attacking and arguing over anything. But back to the BB gun. I'm getting there. BB gun and dog. Anytime I bring up my BB gun, always issues. People are like either anti-gun or think it's cruel or don't think you should ever shoot or hurt anything, etc. Whatever. When Buddy freaking puts his foot through that hoof, if I get that BB gun out, his foot comes out and he leaves immediately. He knows. So the other day when the dog was over here, I was trying to get my BB gun, and if he chased the rabbit, I was going to shoot him in the butt with the BB gun. Now, for y'all that don't know about guns but hate guns and think they're all dangerous because you're a freaking idiot and you believe what you're told, a pump BB gun is not like the old style BB guns where you cock it and you get one power and it shoots the same speed. The pump BB gun is, if I pump it once, the bullet may reach the camera. It's very soft. It's just a little poof of air. Boop. Not very much. If I pump it twice, it'll go a little bit further. I think the max is either 10 or 20 pumps. Then you get full speed. Now, if I shoot you with 10 pumps, it's probably going to penetrate your skin. You know, yeah, it could take out your eye, but so could a freaking spitball. I mean, so could, you know, you're walking too close and my elbow hits you in the eye, I could take your eye out. So, you know, don't start, well, you could lose an eye, Rick. And, yeah, well, that's because you're an idiot. So, and I'm pretty proficient with firearms, okay? I don't want to go through my qualifications, but believe me, I've forgotten more about guns than most people will ever know. So, I'm pretty proficient. And I know I'm not going to shoot a horse or a dog in the face, or a horse, when I'm aiming at their butt, or if they're moving away from me and I'm aiming at their butt in the lead and the bullet's going to be behind them. I mean, look, I get it. I don't want to hurt one of my animals any more than you guys want me to hurt them, but you can't believe that, because if I talk about BB gun, people freaking lose their mind. So I said, if the dog chases the rabbit, I had it pumped up 3 times, which is enough to probably sting. I don't even know if it'd go into cardboard. It'd probably bounce off a piece of cardboard with 3 pumps. Maybe 4 pumps would stick in the cardboard, but you know, to go through a piece of cardboard, I'd probably have to get 8, 9, 10 pumps. And a pump is just, it goes, and it forces air into the chamber. You go again, it forces more air. You pump again, it forces more air. So when you pull the trigger and all that air is released, the more air that's in there, the faster the bullet goes. I know I just lost all the freaking anti-gun people. That's not true. All guns are dangerous, Rick, and they should be outlawed, and then we'd be safe if only government had guns to shoot us, because you're a freaking nice person. All right. When I'm talking about shooting a dog, people are like, why would you shoot the dog? Why would you feed him and then shoot him? Why would you try to protect your rabbits, but then you leave them out in the open and say, and again, a lot of these people, they're just trolls. Sometimes I give people more credit. I don't think they can be that stupid and not get it. But there's a lot of ignorant people out there. So maybe they just really are stupid. I kind of go to they're not that stupid and they're just being a troll and trying to appear smart. But, so there was a bunch of comments about me being cruel and how dare I want to shoot it. And then I pulled out my pistol, and you can watch a video. It says Happy New Year. Dog came to visit or something. I would say I'd put a link, but I know I'll forget. And even if I do put a link, somebody will tell me it doesn't work, and somebody will say it's the wrong link, and somebody will tell me when I clicked it, it didn't. So, whatever. If you want to go find it, then do it. If you don't, then quit crying about why I didn't put a link. So, here's the theory on training animals. And I know the left-wing idiots out there that believe timeouts teach kids all the lessons they need to know. And that's great. I don't give a shit. Use your timeouts. Timeouts don't work with horses. They don't work with dogs. They don't work with any other animal. And they probably don't work with kids, but you can manipulate anything to show what works and what doesn't. So, when you're training and I train dogs for 20 years, whatever, 30, whatever, I've been always training animals, some sort of animal. So, when you're training dogs, I talk about the principles of conditioning. Stimulus, response, reward. I give a stimulus, I give a response, and I get a reward. The animal chooses the reward. Stupid humans think they choose it, but that's not right. If the animal isn't willing to work or want the reward has no value to the animal, so it doesn't work. If I tell Buddy that his reward is me saying good boy, if he doesn't care what good boy means, the reward is absolutely useless. And someone would be like, well, Rick, I practiced your stimulus response reward and it didn't work. And I was giving my horse hugs. I go, well, that's because you're an idiot. Hugs is pressure. Pressure ain't a reward. That's the anti-reward for a horse, and you don't get it. But, whatever. Let's stick to what principal conditioning. Stimulus response reward. So if I want my horse to do something, I stimulus. With horses, the stimulus is pressure. Okay, with dogs, I can go with verbal, and you can do it with horses too if you work on them enough, because they'll learn conditioning. When I'm riding a horse, if I say whoa or ho, the horse knows to stop. I don't have to pull the reins, I don't have to lean back, I don't have to do anything. Because he's learned every time I pull on the reins or lean back and say ho that he stops. So after doing that continuously, I can do any one of those things and he'll stop. I can pick up the reins, I can lean back, or I can say ho. I can do all three. I can do a combination either two. He's learned what those things mean. So a verbal in that thing can work. But if it doesn't work, I have to be able to follow up with something so he knows what the right answer is. If I say ho, 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 and I got one video where that dude's on that horse and it ran off, and I think he said ho 27 times or something, and then he ends up jumping off the horse. But because the horse, he said ho 27 times, if the verbal doesn't work, you have to have a follow-up, something to reinforce what ho means. So with the dog, if he's chasing the rabbit and I go, no! Last time I did that when he was chasing a rabbit, it just kind of made him pause a little bit, and he went, man, he sounded angry. I've never heard that voice before because he's not my dog, and I haven't yelled at him until he chased a rabbit. And he kind of paused, and then he kept going. What did that tell me? Well, as a human with 2 brain cells that can create a spark, it told me that he doesn't know the meaning of no. He doesn't know that if I say no, that I can still put some sort of physical correction. I can still reach out and reinforce that no with something else. So the BB gun was that reinforcement. I was going to take the BB gun. If he chased the rabbit, I was going to pop him, not enough to even pierce the skin. If I hit him in the eye, yeah, maybe it would pop his eye. I don't know, it'd probably bruise it. But it would sting him. He would know, and it would shock him. And I tell a story about where when we were shock collars were first coming out and the military was trying them out. I was stationed down in San Antonio at Lackland. That's the dog buying capital of the United States. Every dog that's in the military goes through San Antonio. The Air Force is the training center for all dogs, for all branches, Marine, Army, Navy, Customs, Coast, whatever. They all go through that place. That's where they get their dogs. Now, civilian departments buy theirs anywhere they want. So I was down there and we were doing some training on the shock collar. And some of y'all might have heard this story. Maybe I'll post this on my dog channel since I haven't done that. I'll post it on the horse and a dog channel. So, dog channels think like a dog because I'll have 14 people ask me in the comments, "What's your dog channel? I never heard of it. I didn't know." And I get it, but you know, when I get asked 14 times, you know, sometimes my viewers will write it for me and I don't have to do it. Other times I'm just like, if it ain't worth you finding out, I ain't messing with it. I'm going to become much more tough shit this year with this social media. So we're doing this training on this shock collar, and what we used to do before shock collars in order to break a dog is if let's say Buddy's my decoy. So Buddy is what we're sending the dog on. So we would send the dog, and as the dog gets about right here, the handler would give the command to stop, which is out, and he would give the command. And if the dog didn't stop, there would be a person standing here a little bit farther away, maybe where the camera's at, and we would have a canteen full of water. And I don't know if y'all know what a canteen is, the thing that Army guys carry on their side there. And they used to be solid plastic, kind of round, a great throwing distance. A little bit smaller than a football, but heavier because they're full of water. So we would stand there with a canteen, and if that dog didn't stop when he yelled out, we'd rear back, throw, and hit that dog with that canteen, and that handler would yell, "No! Out!" And timing would be that no should be when that canteen hit the dog. Because in the dog's mind, I've got to listen to my handler even when I'm away from him because he can still reach out and touch me. So, "Rick, that's punishment, and that's cruel, and they should be..." Shut up, you freaking crybabies. We've been training dogs that way for freaking ever.
"Rick, you shouldn't grab his tail. He's gonna kick you."
Whatever.
Hey, buddy, wait.
So, that was the theory. And then when we were doing that training, we had a shock collar. So with a shock collar, we didn't need a guy because some of the dogs were learning that, and that's what animals do, they learn from their environment. If you think you're outsmarting them, they're not. So after you do that with the canteen a couple times with a dog, the dog learned when there's somebody standing close to the decoy, he's going to throw the canteen. So then when they'd get to the decoy, before the handler called out, they would stop. And they wouldn't pass the guy with the canteen, and they would turn around. And we went, shit, they're learning the wrong freaking lesson. They're learning to pay attention to the guy throwing the canteen because they see us versus paying attention to the handler saying no. So, and some of the dogs figured it out. Some of them wouldn't, but every once in a while you get a smart one that figured it out. So then, this one dog, I loved him. He was smart. So, and he just wanted to bite. So he didn't care, he wanted to bite. So we got a shock collar, and the shock collar was I don't like shock collars. I wouldn't have used it. I was in the military. I think they're BS. I think people misabuse them. I think it's a horrible thing, but they work. They're effective. There's a lot of things that work in horses. I don't like it. I don't use it, but it's effective and some people use it. So they get a shock collar and the dog's running, and right when the handler yells out, "No, out," they hit the button on no. So he yells no, the dog gets a shock and he's like, "Ow, that freaking hurt." So when they first came out, the signal, you had to be pretty close. So there was a guy standing pretty close in between the decoy, because, you know, a lot of dogs, when you're training dogs, they're really good when you're 5 or 10 feet, and that's their threshold. If they get more than 12 feet, they ain't coming back. They've just learned. So we'd put them on a 40-foot leash, and then they'd run to the end, and then they learned, well, when something's dragging, they can stop me. So then, when they had that thing, they would only run to the end of the leash and stop because they know they couldn't go any further and they was going to yell out. So we're like, shit, that's not teaching them. So then, being the smart guys that we were, well, we'll just hang a leash and make them drag it, and they'll always think they're tied up. Well, that would work for a lot of dogs. Some of the dogs figured it out and said, there's a difference between a leash dragging and when they got that long ass rope tied to me on a distance. So, with the, I'm getting to my point on the shock collar, people. Hang on.
Why don't he get to the point? He talks too much. He doesn't talk. I can't hear him. Look at the way he's dressed. Why is he already?
I want to give you guys feedback on what it's like to read the comments each day. This is everything I do. This is how it comes back. So, dog's running with a shock collar. Guy's got the little button. He goes, "Bleh." And at first, and then we figured out when he saw the guy, so we moved the guy to always be behind the dog. So the dog was always past the guy pressing the button. So this one dog, when he pressed a button, there happened to be, I don't know whether it was dead, there was something that the dog recognized about where he got shocked. And so, it was the funniest damn thing. Handler sends his dog, we know he's not going to come out, we're ready to shock him. Not me. I don't think I ever shocked a dog. I have to think. I don't think I've ever shocked a dog with a shock collar. But, you know, we're all working together. I was either getting bit, I was getting chased, I was the handler doing it, I was the guy throwing the canteen. So we're all involved in this. So when I say we or I, that's what I'm talking about. So the dog's running, and they shock it right here because he gets, you know, because again, not only do dogs have a threshold, if they get more than 10 feet from you, they don't have to listen. They'll say, screw you. They also have a threshold that if they get so close to the person they're going to bite, they ain't stopping. And you learn that over time, and you try to improve on it, but it's just tough. So, a lot of dogs are like, you know, once I get within 15 feet of the person, I don't give a shit what you say. I'm getting my bite. I ran this far, I'm biting a dude. So, because the military had standards, police department ain't got no damn standards. Their freaking dogs are the worst trained, worst handlers. I mean, yeah, I've never seen such idiocy as I do in the freaking police department with their canine. It is just abusive. They don't train. There's no records. There's no document. There's no decertification. Every dog passes. Every handler passes. And all the dogs pouring like shit every video I see. But I digress. Our dogs in the military had standards. And if they hit a person after the handler said out, they would decertify that dog. And that handler was not allowed to release that dog because he couldn't control him. And until he could get proficient and show it, and as a trainer or as a kennel master, which I was both, at different places you move up, you start handler, then trainer, then kennel master. You would have to sign off and certify. Now when I was kennel master, my dogs were freaking good because my trainers worked their ass off. A lot of training position Air Force is kind of like back office, kick back, oh I'm a trainer now, I don't have to work a dog, and it's kind of drink coffee with the boss. If you work for me and a trainer, you worked your ass off. My dogs were trained. I had handlers bitching about too much training. I never had handlers bitching about not enough training. But I digress. So this dog's running, and his threshold was like, once I get here, I ain't coming back. Even if you shock me, I ain't coming back. So what this dog did is when he got to where he got shocked last time, because he's thinking, and I love thinking animals, man, because they make me work harder, they teach me more. He's thinking, there's something right here in this spot that's shocking me, because the last couple times I ran by here, I got freaking zapped. So his theory was, I'll just go around this spot. It was the funniest. I was rolling. This dog's hauling ass. We're getting ready to shock him. We don't do anything. And he gets to the spot where he's going to get shocked. And he runs around it. And he just goes around, makes a beeline, circles back around, then runs and attacks the guy. And man, we all just started busting up. It was the that dog was like, I know whatever's right here is shocking me and I'm going around that spot. So again, animals will tell you what they're teaching them, and if they tell you, if you're getting the wrong answer, You're asking the question wrong, you're training wrong, what you're doing isn't working. You need to change, not the animal. So it wasn't like, that stupid dog, we need to beat him. Let's go rub his nose in the part where he ran around and show him there's nothing there. No, that's being freaking foolish. So anyway, we had to change and make sure that the shock collar is used in different spots, not in the same spot. We have to learn where the dog's threshold is. Sometimes we would put a barrier in the dog to where he couldn't bite it. We knew the dog would not stop and was going to attack no matter what we did. We're like, okay, well, let's try this. Let's send him, and when he thinks he's going to get a bite, he won't be able to. So we got fences, or we got little doors, or we had him in a doorway if it was by a building. And as soon as the dog got real close and the handler yelled out, the decoy would jump in and shut the door. And the dog would be like, shit! And he'd be at the door scratching and pounding the handler, be like, no, out, out. Finally, the dog would come back, and hopefully that was reinforcing when my handler says out, I'm not going to get a bite. It's okay not to get a bite. I have to return. So, I mean, you're always changing up your training, but that little dog that was running around that spot, that was the funniest damn thing. I think we even walk your dog by there so he knows okay. We're walking the dog gets this spot, it's like, that shit was, I guess you had to be there. If you're not laughing, I thought it was funny as hell. So anyway, that's my theory on shooting the dog in the butt with the BB gun. When I yelled no, he would get that immediate, ow, that friggin' sting, what was that? He would stop thinking about chasing and he would think about, did he just do that, or does that what no means, or is that gonna happen every time he says no? And that's why I was trying to counter condition him. So that's for the idiots, I'm sorry, not the idiots, the smart people who caught that it doesn't make sense to shoot a dog. That's why I was doing that, to help the dog learn chasing rabbits is not a good thing. I don't want him to do it. Now, the other idiots who were like, well, you said the rabbits need to be survival of the fittest. Now you're out there shooting a dog, telling them, and you know at night you're not around, and I'm not protecting the rabbits per se when I'm doing that. I'm feeding a predator. I'm encouraging him to come here, and I want him to coexist with the other animals. I don't want him chasing my cat or my rabbits. So I'm trying to train him and teach him that that's no. I'm not trying to lock up all my animals to protect them. Now, so the other thing that they were saying is, you know, what if somebody knows how to get there has to be, I haven't researched it yet because it hasn't been a priority. There has to be some way, somebody has something out there to where you can see if a dog or a horse has a chip, because they put chips in horses now too. But those chip readers, I don't know how much they cost. I mean, I just don't want to go buy one and check some stray dog to see if he's got a chip. So, but I gotta think that if that thing puts out some sort of signal, and I don't know how the chip reader reads, maybe somebody will be able to tell me. Is it reflective? Does the machine shoot something in there that reflects back, or is it always sending out a signal, and then when the thing gets by it, it picks up that signal? I would think it's kind of like an RF chip. I don't know. I don't even know how the hell damn thing works. But there has to be some cheat or hack to where somebody can say, this dog has a chip. I don't care about the numbers, and I don't care about reading it, because if I knew he had a chip, I would take him to the vet and have him read it. Or I would go have the vet come out here, or I'd go pay the vet money and rent his chip reader and bring it out here. But I don't want to go through all that if he doesn't have a chip. So I'm not real adverse to like saying I don't want to check for a chip, but I'm not going to go buy a chip reader just to check a stray dog. I'm sorry. You call me mean, hateful, and I don't care and all, whatever.
Well, Rick, if you cared about the dog...
Hang on, let me go into my comment section. Here, you don't have to read the comment section, I'll tell you. If he really cared about dogs, he'd go get a chip. He's just an asshole. Well, if he wouldn't feed the dog, he wouldn't have to worry about it. He's creating his own problems. Well, he likes dogs, and if he likes them and he's trying to feed them, that's good. No, it's not, because he's trying... And well, he's going to get his rabbits killed, so he don't care about his rabbits, and he should lock his rabbits up if he cared. He doesn't care about them anyway. Okay, there you go. There's your trip through the comment section. Don't have to read it now. I'll just tell you. If you think this is annoying, try to live in that every day. It's freaking a pain in the ass. I digress. Get back to my dog and horsey. I think I'm pretty much done. So training dogs, that's what I was trying to do. Conditioning, I wanted to have them associate a negative thing. If my horse bites me or kicks at me, I'm gonna pick up a rock, I'm gonna hit him with a rope, I'm gonna chase him, I'm gonna scream, I'm gonna be a crazy guy, and I want my horse to learn, damn, I do not want that to happen again. And it seems like the only time that happens is when I kick, pin my ears, or try to bite this guy. You know what? I'm gonna stop doing that. Because horses and most animals will want the easy way. They'll take the path of least resistance, just like humans. They'll always take the easy, lazy way. I say that in life. One of my philosophies is, if there's two ways to do something, one's easy and one's harder, the one that's harder is probably the right way. The one that's easier is normally shortcuts, it's not the right way, it's circumventing, it's going to cause problems down the road, it's not as good. If you take the time it tastes like time. Do the one that's harder, you'll get better results. That's kind of what I kind of believe when I get to a crossroad. So Mr. T cleaned up that area. Buddy's cleaning up this area the whole time. Let me go climb on her buddy. I haven't climbed on her buddy. I'll leave my coffee here so I can get some hate. You shouldn't do that. It's dangerous. Shut up, you big freak crybaby. Buddy, I'll crawl underneath you, boy.
Rick, that's dangerous, and you're gonna get kicked, and he could kill you, and you should never. And if you put your head here, your hat could scare him, and if you accidentally bump him, he could kick you. And then if you put your head between, it is dangerous, Rick, and you should be safe. And horses,
Shut up, you freaking idiots! All right, good boy, Buddy. How did Buddy learn that? Do you think Buddy was born that way, or you think through good training and good exposure and good desensitizing him that he learned that? Well, I'll let the idiots figure out that one. All right, well, out there, Buddy, you're a good boy. Mr. T, you're a good old boy too. Oh, there's that speaking old Moki cat. Look at him, acting like a damn fool, rolling dirt. Boy, what are you doing? You're gonna get a beating. What are you doing, Moki cat? You say hello to YouTubies. You're gonna get big trouble, boy. I haven't seen the rabbits this morning. I put out some little food. I'm sure they'll come out later. I know. Hey, hang on. Let me give you a trip down YouTube comments. They're probably eating because you're feeding the dog. You don't care about. You should lock them up. You just don't. Just shut up, freaking idiots. Smokey's like, what, Dad? Me? Hi, Mokey Moke. Hi, Mokey Moke. All right, well, then out there.